class of 95. My family and I are here to take you on a tour of SU. My family and I have a long tradition of attending SU going back to World War I era. This is my dad, Bill Hart, and my mom, Bryn Butler Hart from class of 1969. And I have two of my kids here, Carson, class of 22, and Katie, class of 24. Come with us as we go on a tour of present day SU.
This is the Cullen Building, which we knew as the Ad Building. It was really the only building when Southwestern relocated from a few blocks that way. When I look at this building, I think of Robert Heyer. He was the president. He was one of the most talented person who's ever lived in Texas. He was a scientist of international renown. He lived here. The library was here. His physics lab was here. This was the whole university. And thank goodness that it survives and it continues to be useful for so many generations after that. Okay, the science hall, and of course we didn't major in science, but two of my great uncles majored in chemistry here, and both became chemists. Uncle Henry at TCU and Uncle Ben at Victoria College. We're at the steps of Mood Hall, over 100 years old, and still useful after all these years. And of course, it's been used for many things. I lived here the academic year of 1965, 1966, which was the last year it was used as a dormitory. It was built a lot, helped the congressman who represented this area got money appropriated to build that building. His name was Lyndon Johnson. Perhaps you've heard of him. He later went on to bigger things. But this portion is all new, and so all of the modern devices of connectivity and search aids and things like that. So anyway, that portion, dates back to 1930s era spending, but this part is state-of-the-art, connected. So I also deposited my grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, their correspondence is there, and the special collections archivist, Megan Firestone, is processing them and will make them available digitally, when that process is completed. And this is, my grandmother was here 1909 to 1912, and then my grandfather was here 1917 to 1920. So it covers the last year President Heyer was here, which was the last year my grandmother was here, and then President Bishop. And World War I is the big deal, when the campus mobilizes for the war effort in several different ways.
I'm so thankful for this building because I was taking Shakespeare and I was trying to read it and it just wasn't going in at all. It didn't make sense. And I learned that there are some recording rooms that have Shakespeare plays on record. So I would come here and spend hours listening to those records because I got the voices of the different actors and I could sort of make sense of it. So I'm so thankful that
That's how you
here.
passed your Shakespeare class.
Yes, that's how I passed.
It's also where the Office of Study Abroad is now. They helped me figure out a trip to Argentina after my freshman year.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it also has a few cool study spots that I've been to before, and health centers up on the second floor.
Did you do COVID testing here?
Yeah, last semester. I think they moved it.
I also had my first year seminar in this building with Dr. Francis McHugh. It was food, health, and French culture, and that was probably my favorite class that I've taken here at SU. It was fascinating.
I know you love that class. Awesome.
Before this building, the only place the student body could gather was in an auditorium on the second floor of the administration building. I'm sorry, Cullen Building. Okay, there was one event there, and Mrs. Perkins was sitting next to her college friend, the wife of Bishop A. Frank Smith. On the way back home to Wichita Falls, where the Perkins lived, they started talking, and Ms. Perkins says, "Oh, isn't it a shame there's not a better place to have all these functions?" That night, Mr. Perkins, after he got home to Wichita Falls, called President Score, who was president of the university. He says, "Hey, we're going to give enough money to build a nice chapel."
Wow.
When we first got here, we spent every Thursday morning here because chapel was required. And they took attendance. You had to sign your name. And of course, not everybody paid full attention to the worship service going on. And so the administration said, let's just make it voluntary. But it's been the site. We've been to weddings here. We've been to graduation here. As a matter of fact, this is where we received our diplomas, May of 1969. Family legend is that the Hart family was awarded a pennant because of a 30-year span. There were Harts in attendance for 27 of those years. Wow. And that set a family record.
And look, the book is open. Oh, it's my sorority page. There's me. There's you.
Yeah.
There's me. Look at that. So all of those flags used to be in the Student Union building, as well as the floor.
And the windows.
And the windows.
And the fireplace.
Giant fireplace. And in the sub was where we would have dances. And I remember the dance where his sister Betty was crowned Miss Southwestern.
Yeah.
And I also remember that's where we went to register for classes. So their professors would be sitting at tables and we'd go over to see if there was any room left in their class.
Yeah, now we're here at the KA house. I've actually lived here for the past 2 years, and it's probably been one of the most enriching experiences of my life. And just Greek life in general is a fantastic thing that you should definitely get involved in. I would say that I formed a lot of friendships here, but I've really found my family away from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, these are lasting friendships that I keep up with, 50 years after graduation. I still keep up with some of the brothers I had in the same fraternity.
Thanks for joining.